Travis Wayne Goodsell. So I'm going to read scripture. So keep in mind the song. If you want to bring up another tab for another YouTube and play the song as I read over this, that would be cool. I don't dare play it in the background because YouTube will throw a hissy fit. So steps. Scared of the Dark. From their Tears on the Dance Floor album. Scared of the Dark, Steps. And it came to pass that I beheld others pressing forward, and they came forth and caught hold of the end of the rod of iron, and they did press forward through the midst of darkness, clinging to the rod of iron, even until they did come forth and partake of the fruit of the tree. And after they had partaken of the fruit of the tree, they did cast their eyes about as if they were ashamed. And I also cast my eyes round about, and behold, on the other side of the river of water, a great and spacious building, and it stood as it were in the air, high above the earth. So, yeah, that's the Tower of Mormonism, the church office building, a great and spacious building. And it was filled with church service missionaries and members of the 70, both old and young, both male and female. Their manner of dress was exceedingly fine, and they were in the attitude of mocking and pointing their fingers towards those who had come at and were partaking of the fruit and finding out the truth about the corruption of the Mormon church. And the people in the great and spacious building made those who found out the truth to be ashamed, scoffing at them, punishing them with jail time, destroying their lives, excommunication, and blah, blah, blah. I thought that was cool. So yeah, I found Steps this morning. I've already known about Tragedy. That's an awesome song. I have that one. But yeah, Scared of the Dark. Awesome. Alright. So I wanted to continue with more about the the midst of darkness of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You know, the Mormons. And with polygamy, because it's a real threat. The church is bringing it back, and there's more to the story than what I talked about in the previous video that I uploaded. So go to my video list and then look at the previous video to this one, and because it has quid pro quo in it. And so nobody's going to know from the title that it's talking about polygamy and how the church is setting up to practice polygamy again. And so let me attempt a quick summarization. Edmunds Tucker Act shut down the church when Brigham Young started polygamy in 1852. And so the Edmunds Tucker Act came in 1887, and took all officers out of government positions who were Mormon. And the Mormon Church continued to practice polygamy, despite being thrown in jail and all this stuff. Because the year before Brigham Young died, he put in his section 132 of the Doctrine and Covenants, and it's him, because Joseph Smith does not talk this way. Get any linguist to compare this section with any of the earlier sections, and it's not the same lingo. And then when you read, you find out why. Because here, in the beginning, exaltation. What is exaltation, Mormons? The highest degree of the celestial kingdom where you have sex for all eternity is gained through the new and everlasting covenant. Bruce R. McConkie sort of left something out of that, didn't he? It's polygamy. Right here in verse 1. Verily, thus saith the Lord unto you, my servant Joseph, that inasmuch as ye have inquired of my hand to know and understand wherein I, the Lord, justified my servants Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and also Moses, David, and Solomon, my servants, as touching the principle and doctrine of their having many wives and concubines. For behold, in verse 4, I reveal unto you a new and everlasting covenant, and if ye abide not that covenant, then ye are damned. For no one can reject this covenant and be permitted to enter into my glory. Brigham Young was on a full rampage because he was arrested by his most recent divorced wife. And so, here it is. It is still the law of the current church to be a polygamist in order to be exalted. Right here, section 132. And read it and weep. Manilow. And so this is where the 10 virgins comes in. No, not the last days 10 virgins. Being married to 10 virgins. Laws governing the plurality of wives are set forth. 58. Yep, 62. And if he have 10 virgins given unto him by this law, he cannot commit adultery. Technically, you're not committing adultery because I've already gone over this. There's a difference between a virgin and a woman, and it has to do with babies. And so adultery is only for women. Virgins can't commit adultery. Men cannot commit adultery having sex with a virgin. Okay, so this is the law of the church. They were supposed to take out this scripture. They took out John Taylor's. They didn't take out this one because they were claiming it was Joseph who had it and made it and published it and blah blah blah. No. So the church then had to recuperate and start a criminal organization with tithing as protection racket and an organized structure that the American mafia copied. And the mob boss's name was Lucky. Can't remember his last name. It's in Italian. And so in 1978, as the last video I indicated, the government repealed the Edmunds-Tucker Act. Why? What for? Quid pro quo. The priesthood was restored to blacks in 1978. In accordance with the new amendment in the Constitution granting voting rights for blacks and voting rights for women even, but that church still continued to suppress women. And so the quid pro quo, priesthood restored, polygamy repealed. And thus the Warren Jeffs case was something other than polygamy. So now we come to the church under Nelson changing the temple and the law of chastity. Quid pro quo. You women want your freedom? Fine. We'll make it so that you don't have to give obedience to your husband anymore. However, I'm doing a sleight of hand and changing the law of chastity for you women, and now setting it up for polygamy. Go back to the temple, Mormon women, Mormon men too, or you can find the text online. It's out there. I got it. That's how I know about it. And the law of chastity is worded just right to allow polygamy. Then Oaks, President Dallin H. Oaks, former Utah Supreme Court Justice, former prosecutor, he is due to be the next president of the church, because Nelson's on his way out. He's dying. He's having memory problems and having trouble focusing, if you've been paying attention. And so Oaks gets up in the last conference, Trust in the Lord, Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning session. Very first session of conference. So churchofjesuschrist.org, scroll down, general conferences, quick link, and then it's the first session of conference, Trust in the Lord, Dallin H. Oaks. He starts off talking about polygamy and telling the woman not to worry about being the second wife. Trust in the Lord. It's coming. Now, what else? What else is required for exaltation, Mormons? What else? What else is required? The high priesthood. You have to be a high priest, men, in order to be exalted. It's in section 76. It's talked about in the Book of Abraham, or the Book of Mormon, the Book of Abraham too, and then Doctrine and Covenants. So it's well talked about. But wait, high priests now meet with elders. There is no more high priest group. There is no more being made a high priest if you're an elder, unless you become a bishop, a stake president, a high counselor, or a member of the 70, apostle, or president of the church. Do you see what they're doing? Do you understand what they're doing, guys? They are denying you exaltation. They are setting it up so that only those who are high priests, after some great extermination that's going to happen, only the high priests who are left, who are the leaders of the church, will have polygamous relations. 10 virgins. And we're bringing back the prairie dresses. Oh, baby. So, it's coming, guys. This is what they're doing to us. And this is the underhanded, devious brainwashing that the church is committing against Mormons. Because I can see it happening. A war happens in America, lots of Mormon men die, and the church survives. And they then say, we're now establishing our kingdom, and we're going to resume polygamy. And so all those who are high priests are granted extra wives. If you're an elder, you have to be righteous, and one day maybe you'll get to be a high priest too. In the meantime, no touchy, abstinence. We're not doing the brothels because brothels are illegal. Not like in the days of Brigham Young, as you watched the other video. And so, this is similar to Warren Jeffs. Warren Jeffs did a different tactic. Warren Jeffs found that the 14-year-old girls of the rising generation were hot. He wanted a piece of that action. The only problem is you have boys who are also of the rising generation, and they need to get married. And so what do you do as the leader of the church who's excessively horny and not satisfied with the multiple wives that he already has? You kick them out of the organization, of the community. And that's where the Lost Boys come in. They became Lost Boys. They were brought before a judge, and the judge sent a letter to the Mormon church saying, hey, do you want to help take care of these boys? And the church said, hell no. We're not affiliated with their organization. We're not dealing anything with them. We're not giving any assistance, no help, no. Don't even come to us. They betrayed us. And so the Lost Boys had to be taken care of by the government. So it's going to be a little different with the Mormon Church when they implement this very, very soon. And just to let you know, what happened on the 21st of August 2017, and when is the next one? That's right, April 8th, 2024. Not April 6th, interestingly. Very curious. So we'll go to timeanddate.com, and then by the calendar section, we'll implement or put in the 2024, press enter, and then it shows the calendar for that year, and April 8th, Monday. Wonder what time. Total, let's type in what time. What time is the total today? There was no total solar eclipse today. Eclipse 2024. TD time. Okay, well here's a picture that shows. Okay, so let's see. Mountain, Central, Eastern, Atlantic, Newfoundland. Okay, let's see. Central time is an hour before Utah Mountain Time. And so, oh, here it is, Mountain Time. Dallas, Texas, 1:40 p.m. is when it starts in Utah. It's a CDT, but these times are some of the samples. Eastern, Central. Oh, no, that's not. Oh, that's Dallas. No, that's. Okay, so 2:40 p.m. No, 12:40 p.m. Should have gone to my stellarium instead. But that would have shut off my camera. As I found out in another video. And so, it's coming, Mormons. It's coming, United States. The Mormon Church has already made a quid pro quo arrangement with Russia. That after Russia destroys America, the church will be allowed to establish their kingdom again, as Brigham Young did. And they will resume polygamy. They're already setting it up under Nelson. They're speeding it up. Nelson took away the priesthood in the very first conference, where he said, hey, we're working with the Russians. Don't listen to the fake news. Oh my God. My jaw dropped. I was horrified. And so, because I had just been studying church history and found out what was going on, and then Nelson gets up and goes, hey, we're working with the Russians. Don't listen to the fake news. And we've taken away your priesthood. You can't be exalted anymore. And you ain't going to get polygamous wives when we reestablish our kingdom after the destruction of America. That's what the total solar eclipse means. It's been that meaning for all time and for all eternity. It comes from the ancient Egyptians. It's in Joel, it's in Jesus' words of the gospel, Matthew 24, it's in John's Revelation. The sun shall be darkened, referring to the collapse of the government. But wait, it also says the moon shall be turned to blood, Travis. What does that do? Government or religion, guys. That's how I knew. Because remember, there used to be President Gordon B. Hinckley and James E. Faust? Remember when they died? Now check your Google search for dates of total solar eclipses. That's right. Both of them were under lunar eclipses, sorry. Both of them were corresponding with lunar eclipses. Blood moons. And so remember the tetrad? Tetrad? What tetrad? What are you talking about, Travis? 2014, 2015. I know because I had just gotten out of my captivity, wrongfully arrested, wrongfully accused, never went to trial. But I got out. I wasn't supposed to get out. I was supposed to be gone forever. You were never supposed to hear this video. You were never supposed to know my name. The church wanted me gone. And I get out, and the very next month, a lunar eclipse. Somebody's gonna die? What's going on? This is strange. And I wait, nobody dies. And I thought, oh, that's strange. I guess it was just a coincidence back with Faust and Hinckley. And then comes the Feast of Tabernacles. Another lunar eclipse? This is huge, too. In the same year. That means 2 are gonna die. And it comes and goes. Nothing. It's curious. What's going on? And then again, for Passover, total solar or lunar eclipse. The morning of April General Conference. And then after conference, what happened, Mormons? Come on, let me hear you say it. Between the 3rd and the 4th lunar eclipse, how many died? 1, 2, 3. Packer, Perry, Scott. Boom, boom, boom. It's like God was up there with his rifle, poof, 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 picking off apostles one by one. How's that for you right-wingers? They're taking our guns! And yeah, I was like, oh crap! This could be it. But then 2015 goes, and 2016 comes to a close as we get to the presidential election. And on November 4th, 2016, Fox 13 News, Utah, covers the story where I just freeze. My eyes get wide. Total solar eclipse over all America. And yeah, we're in it. The signs. And Yeah. So it's coming, Mormons. It's coming, those of you who aren't Mormons or aren't affiliated with the Mormons. It depends. YouTube says that my number one group that's coming to my channel are those who are men plus or minus 5 years my age, who are typing in the video. And so it's coming, guys. We were the royal generation, the youth of the noble birthright, according to Benson, back in 1986. And now Nelson has kicked us out, just like Lost Boys. And he's raising up the younger generation, the youth battalion. And it's coming. I'm coming, I'm coming. You can't stop me, you can't stop me. I'm coming. Will Smith. Alrighty. As if having one hadn't been enough of a problem. And I even had 2 ones. Both of them were a pill. But if you can suppress the women, they're more compliable and complicit. My dulcet darling, Princess Bride. As you wish. Anybody want a peanut?